This video has been highly requested. So many sellers want to learn how to create on Canva. And so I'm going to be showing you 3 simple resources that you can create in Canva, starting with some templates that are already available to you, how to search for templates, how to look for them, and you're going to kind of see how to tweak them to make them your own and how to make them more valuable and something that you can actually sell on Teachers Pay Teachers. So if you're interested in learning how to create resources in Canva without starting from scratch, this is the video for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and I'm picking some really simple basic templates here. So what I did was I went to templates and I searched for color by number template. Now you can see they have all kinds of things, but I picked one that I thought would work well for me because I want the students to be doing some actual math. But honestly, it's kind of boring looking. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of change this up. I want this to be not rounded. Don't want any corner rounding, and I don't want these dashes. And this is immediately going to make such a big difference. And now what I'm going to do is, I think she doesn't have these, whoever made this doesn't have them grouped together. Select all of this. I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them so that when I make this bigger, there we go. I'll put this here, and then I'm going to insert an element, rectangle. This will work. Add it in. Do this. And it's popping up this danger zone, but I'm not worried about that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click this border. I'm going to add a border. I think 4 is actually good. And then I'm going to say no fill or no color. I'm going to take this border and I'm going to send it to the back. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to click layer, send to back. Now I want to add, I'm going to change up these fonts. I'm actually going to use my own fonts because I don't have a license for this KG primary penmanship. I'm not really sure how they're able, this is Kimberly Gushwood. I know that's a paid font, so I'm not really sure how they're able to do that, but I'm going to use my own fonts from inside my brand kit, kind of partial to PB Pour Over Coffee from Perfect Blends. I change all of those. So I just held down the shift key and moused over to select everything. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy and paste this. And I'm going to say copyright Lauren Fulton. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this much smaller, and I'm going to do 20. No, let's do 16. And I'm going to say effects. I'm going to put a background, and I'm going to make the background white. Center that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down here. I'm going to put it right in the middle. I hate this. Why does it have this danger zone? It's because it thinks that I'm going to print this, and I'm not going to print this. I'm going to center this. It makes it kind of difficult. It's just the way that the template that they set this up in is why it's doing that. It's not going to, there we go. That'll work. And it's just going to kind of interrupt that line a little bit, which is just fine. It's still going to print just fine. Okay, so now I'm going to say adding integers. I'm going to title this, and what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more unique, first of all, make this smaller here. I'm going to do date, same way, and this right here. There we go. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to take this little box right here and pull it out this direction. And we're going to try to space these evenly. See if we can do that. Nope. There we go. All right, so I have red, center this, and center this. Okay. Actually going to get rid of all those text boxes, and we're going to put them all in the same. So I'm going to say 6 minus -3. And then I'm going to go to the next one. And whatever that answer is, I'm going to put it corresponding here. Now, after I do this, I'm going to create, instead of just having one adding to integers coloring sheet, which is honestly kind of boring, but also not very valuable, I'm going to duplicate that page. So I'm then going to do another one. I'm going to ungroup this, and I'm going to go over into elements. I'm going to remove the fish. And I'm going to search for coloring page. See all. And I might even do, let's see, that was a fish. So let's do an owl. And I might have to get a little creative with some of this. I'm going to actually let me select all of these because it's going to be a little easier to just insert them myself. And so I'm going to say multiplying integers. Or I could do like 3 pages of adding, 3 pages of multiplying, and 3 pages of dividing. So then I would just take my answer, 6 minus -3, which would be 9. And I'm going to put this, say, right here. And then I'd have another one for, let's center that. Have another one that would go on this bar, another that goes on his beak, this part of his beak, this part of his beak, here, here, eye, outside of the eye, brow, brow, this. So you can have multiple different things. Now, this, you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I can have up to 5 problems in each one of these if I need to. I don't have to. I can figure out another way to sort this out, but that's going to be how I can do this. So I would basically, instead of just having one single worksheet, I'm going to make multiples of these. It's going to be really easy. They all follow the exact same format. I just have to put in a new little animal each time, coloring animal. And so I can do like this little fox, this little raccoon. I can do any of these. Now, it is worth mentioning, I want to make sure that you know this, you cannot have a Canva for Educators account to sell these resources. You cannot have a free account. You have to have a pro account in order to sell these resources. But now I can do 3 adding integers pages, 3 multiplying integers pages, 3 dividing integers pages. And very, very quickly and very easily, I have 9 pages, and I could charge $3 for operations with integers worksheets. And if I really want to, I could do 3 more pages and I could do a couple of word problems. So I could pick one that doesn't have a lot of spots to color, like maybe it needs more than this bird, but I could pick one that doesn't have a lot of different, maybe this chihuahua, little giraffe, or something like that. I could pick one of those that doesn't have as many spots to color. And I could do a word problem in each one of these if I could find one that has like 4 spots, right? Or you could use you could use something like this giraffe. And instead of, hang on, let's go to a new page so I can drag that down and show you what I'm talking about. And you could just have all the number 4. So say this one equals 4, which it doesn't, it equals 9. So equals 9, I could go 9, 9, 9, 9, and I could put it in different spots. And you could put like one word problem in each spot, and then you just change out the colors. So this could be blue, brown, gray, purple, change out the colors each time. And you have multiple worksheets that you can sell for a good price. And so you're not starting from scratch. You're making it your own. You're changing it up. You're going to work smarter, not harder, but you're still going to create something that is very valuable for the teacher. Next kind of product that you can create are task cards. However, task cards are really, really saturated. So what we want to think about is if we're going to create something like task cards, that we're creating something that really makes sense, but we can utilize keywords like task cards or sort, task cards, things like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for task cards, and you can see there's all kinds, there are tons that are like this. Again, you can't take something that somebody's already made and turn around and sell it. Not only is that morally wrong, it's also legally wrong. It's copyright infringement. So we don't want to do that. Plus, my goodness, can you imagine? People would never trust you if you tried to sell them something that was already for sale. But I love task cards that are like this. If you could think about ways to take like ordinary, boring task cards and make them more interesting, or you can see they gave them a visual here, which is really fun. And sometimes just kind of searching around, you can think of something like, oh, you know what? This would be really great. So when I was searching around and I found the task cards that were like this small, it gave me some really good ideas. And then I kept going, and there was another one. I'm gonna see if it's on here so I can show you. It was basically like converting decimals to percents to fractions, and then like a visual, like a pie chart. So what I was thinking was that it'd be really cool to create a sort using something this size. Now it'll show you more like this, and I actually kind of like this one a little bit better. I like the size of them, but also have a little bit less editing to do. So sometimes if you pick one, it'll show you some that are very, very similar, and you might like those better. So I'm going to customize this template. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start by adding a page, and I'm going to put this page at the top here, and I'm going to create, I need one of these so I can see the size, and we need to be able to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, put them up here. These are all equal distance apart. I'm going to select all of them. You can click position, and they're already aligned top, and they're already spaced evenly horizontally, but you can do that through here if you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to give them one card that's already complete. So let's do this. I'm going to put, I'm actually going to drop this down just a little bit, and I'm going to say, I'm going to have it sort. I'm going to go all the way through here. I'm going to do something very similar to what I did on the last page. I'm going to give it no transparent. I'm just going to give it a page border, a really simple page border. Make sure that's black. And I'm going to take my copyright. I'm going to put that on the page here. Just like that. I'm going to make it smaller. There we go, that way it doesn't bump into these cards. Okay, now I'm going to see how much room I have. Let me send this to the back. And I have like no room. So I'm going to have to get really creative. First, I'm going to move this up as much as I can. And then I'm going to try to give myself as much space with this guy as I can. And take that border to the extreme. Okay. Can't go down any further than that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this text box, make it black, and I'm going to change it to my font, and I'm going to say, let's do this one. I'm going to say, find the missing cards. Okay, so here I've got this one, and this one is going to be, make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to upload, and I'm going to say pie chart. I could probably do it like that, but let's see what we've got graphics wise. I've got a third, see all magic recommendations. I've got a fourth, I've got that one. Let's see if I can do, oh, we've got all of these. These are great. Okay, let's see if I can find half. I could do, oh, these are even more perfect. I love these more. Let's see if we can find more like these. Half. I'm going to start with the pie chart, and oh, see all magic recommendations. Perfect. Okay. Then what I'm going to do with the rest of these is I'm going to give them an outline, and I'm going to make them no fill. I'm going to do that for all of these. I think I might like this one and no fill better. And I'm going to outline this one. There we go. So, and then for this one right here, I'm going to do a different color. I'll do maybe this yellow color. I'm going to do the same outline of 2. And then I'm going to get rid of those. And they're going to have all of these cards will be the rest. So for this one, instead of putting the pie chart on there, I'm going to put the fraction. I'm going to put, let's see here. I'm going to try to select as many of these as I can so that I see I've got 1/5, 1/3, 1/4. I could even do something like that if I wanted to. I'm trying to see if there's another one. 1/5, 1/3, 1/4. There's this one. And that'll be enough for me to start with. Now what I can do is I can go and I can say 1/2, and I can get this fraction, or actually I can create it a whole lot easier than that. It'd be better to create it in my line. Make this shorter. Well, let's just go here. Let's just make a line from here. This will be a lot better. Okay. And I'm just going to put this line in. Somehow I paired those two together. Back over where it belongs. Okay. So I can create that 1/2 fraction here. 0. And then those lines like to connect to everything. Okay, let's see if I can put it right here. And then I'll take I'll do 1. Okay, let's just move it right here. And then I'm going to do 2 on the bottom. Okay, so now I have 1/2. And then what I'll do down here, once I have that, is I will take these cards. I think I'm just going to delete this page right here. I'm just going to start on this page. I'll take these cards. I want this larger white background, and I'm going to delete all of these things. I'm going to paste this in, and I'm going to do that all the way across. And we're going to put in our fraction on a random one. And we'll do, for that top one, we'll make it match up to that top one. 1/2. Oh, I want that to be 1/2. This is going to be a new one. This is going to be 1/3. There we go. So this one will be 1/2, and they'll have to find this card and place it on top of this card. And then I'll do another one at 50%. And then I'll do another one that says 0.5. And I'll do that for all of them. So they have a card sort, and there will be down here, like for this 1/3, I'll take this 1/3 and I'll fit it down here. And ultimately the student will find this and they will add it to this spot right here. So they'll have student pages that say find the missing cards, and they'll find the missing cards and they'll plop them into the cells that make them equal. So they'll have a couple of these pages. They'll have probably a good idea to have at least 6. So they'll have 6 times 4 is 24. So 6 of these will already be on here. And so they'll have 6 cards already plugged in to give them the first one to match up. And then the teacher will cut out the rest of the card and they'll match them up. So there's an easy way to do this for a sort. So this is really great. You could do this in early elementary or primary grades. You could do this with, say, the letter, and they could go and find 3 cards. And I would probably even make these maybe just a little bit smaller. If I were going to do these, I would make them a little bit smaller so it fits a little bit nicer on the page and you can write some directions. But then I would have little cards that have different pieces of clip art that all start with the letter M, and they have to find those items and sort them with the letter M. Okay, so there's so many different things that you can do for this. You can have them, you can put an answer here like the number 6, and then you can have them find all of the problems, whether that's operations with whole numbers, solving equations. You can have them find all of the ones that have the answer number 6. And then it kind of becomes self-checking because they know that there has to be a certain number. There has to be 3 of them that all equal 6. So several different ways that you can do that, and you can kind of start with templates that are already there, but create something that's unique where you're not ripping somebody off and stealing someone else's work. Okay, lastly, I found these really great letter sorts. They are so stinking cute. These are not designed to be printed. So what I would do here is I would start by creating something that could be printable. So I'm going to remove this background. As cute as this border is and as much as I love it, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to replace it with just really simple border, although I can keep the color. So if I want to keep the color, I can keep the color, but I would probably make a black and white version of this as well. So I've got this. I'm going to go ahead and grab my copyright symbol, paste it over. Now I'm going to change this up completely. I am not going to steal anybody's work. but I'm starting with something that already exists, and I'm going to create something that is going to be much more in line with what I can sell. And as long as that copyright is there, it's going to keep telling me that it's in the danger zone. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit so that you can kind of see. Now, what I love about this is, let me send this to the back. Layer, send to back. So I'm going to say, I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to say letter M sort. And do this right here. And I'm going to say cut and sort. And I'll put the directions there and move this up so they can see. Now I'm going to have two options for them. I'm going to have this basket. And in fact, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to put, trying to grab both of them. Here we go. I'm going to also get a trash can. And I'm going to do see all. This may not be big enough. Let's see, it has to be something that I can change the color for. Let's see if I can change this color. Yep. I'm going to change that to white. There we go. And I'm going to crop this. I don't want that. There we go. And I'm going to change this color to the same trash. And then I'm going to put a toy box. Let's do a toy box. Let's see if I can find an empty toy box. Something like this. Okay, now we're going to do the same colors. Oh, let's do this darker one. And then we're going to do this one as maybe, nope, not that. I had to play around with this a little bit. Toys, I want the front one to maybe be that color. I'm not finding it. They're all going to be the wrong color. Okay, here we go. Something like this. And then dark, maybe something like that. Toy box. Oh, the only problem is they're not all toys. That's okay, I can do... Wish I could change this that says keep or shelf. That's a good idea. Let's do a little shelf and then a trash can. If I could do that to define something that would fit, maybe like this. Make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, and I would probably tinker with this just a little bit more, but I'm going to go to table and I'm going to insert a table. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 objects. So we're going to make it 9. We're going to say delete row. Do something like this so that they can cut them out. And the border, I'm going to make it dashed so they know to cut. We are going to send to back, layer, send to back. And then what we can do is we can make these a little bit smaller. And the teacher can cut each one of these out. I want them to sit on the shelf nice and neat or in the trash can. So mug. And you get the general idea. So now we have a printable resource, and we're going to change the directions and tell them to place the objects on the bookshelf or on the shelf that start with the letter M, and the rest of the objects are going to be placed in the trash can. Okay, so once we've done that, we're then going to create another sort. So we are going to create a letter sort. So we're still cutting and sorting, and it's still going to be the letter M, but instead we're going to get rid of all of these, and we're going to place in the table. We'll do more than just what we have here. So we'll do a bigger table. Let's send this to the back, send to back. And I'm going to create, add a column, and then that should be enough. So we're going to go here, position, and we will see if we can make all of these equal. I'm not sure how to make all of them equal. I might just have to work with this on my own here. There we go. So you're going to play around with that. Okay. this is going to give you, what I would do is I would use different fonts, and for capital M, lowercase m, and I would have something down here that says M, not M. Or you could do capital and lowercase. So you could have capital M, lowercase m, and they have to sort by capital and lowercase, and you could add m's in that are all in different fonts. And then you could do another page where they have different words and they have to circle all of the words that start with the letter M. And I would do several different activities. So rather than just having this one activity that's print and it's a cut and sort, we now have multiple activities for the letter M, and I would continue to do that for each of the letters. Now, this is digital. If you wanted to continue with the digital theme, you could do that, but I'm not sure how that would work if you created the template and it using Pro resources. I'm not sure how that would work. So I would personally just make this, if you're going to do a sort, if you're going to do something that they have to use, make sure and test it and make sure it works, even if they don't have a paid account or an educator account. If they just have a regular free account, make sure that it would work for that. But this is a really simple way to start with taking a template and make it your own, add to it, make it unique without ripping off other people's ideas, but also you're not having to start from scratch. Some really simple ideas there and ways that you can use Canva. I hope that this was helpful. If you want to learn more about creating in Canva, leave a comment down below so that I know and I can try to make some more videos. Or if you have any questions, leave those questions down below so that I can help you find them. You can see, like, we did 3 different activities. We didn't get to finish any of them, but those 3 activities, I'm looking at the time, and even with me talking, doing some extra stuff, we're at about 40 minutes. So if I had just focused on one, I could have had one whole activity done. I probably could have been done with that integer operations one already. And so just spending a little bit of time having that template made. And then once you've got that template made, you can start creating other resources that are like that with other themes. You could do one with animals. You could just switch them out and do one that's like space themed and do that for another topic, like solving one-step equations or something like that. So hope that you found this video helpful and hope that it helps to make you more confident in creating and selling resources that you have created in Canva. I'll see you guys right back here in the next video.